Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about something interesting I found online called the Deagle Report. Now, interestingly enough, guys, this report appeared online last year sometimes. And then probably about a month or two ago, it suddenly disappeared. Now, I didn't know anything about it till probably about a couple weeks ago. I think I've heard a couple of you guys mention this last year, either during my live streams or in the comment section. I heard a lot of you guys mention this. So I guess somebody emailed me talking about it when I was asking them where did they get these stats from of the, a large percentage of the population, world population disappearing. They said the Deagle Report. So I Google it and I find this, not the actual report, but other websites talking about it. And I thought it was pretty interesting. Now, guys, supposedly the Deagle Report is by an organization. I think it's called the Deagle Organization, if I'm not mistaken. Supposedly they are, and some people will say they're part of the U.S. government, and some people will say that they were hired by the U.S. government because of their predictions. With that being said, one of the predictions that the Deagle Report was making, or this organization was making, was that 50 to 80% of the population was going to die off. And the Deagle Report was used before in other, I guess, U.S. intelligence reports as well. So being that, again, this was probably given to the United States Army, if I'm not mistaken, and then it ended up online. Well, it ended up online for about a year. And someone said almost to date. It ended up online to about a year, and then it was gone. And people are thinking that maybe the guy retracted it because he got the information wrong, or maybe because of all the things we are actually seeing, that this report is on deck or on point, and that they don't want a lot of people to panic if they start finding this report. Now, I was looking for this report all over the internet, guys. I couldn't find even a PDF file of it. Nonetheless, a lot of the people who said they read it said there were certain things in it that were very concerning. But a lot of the concerning things that were in this Deagle Report are the same things, guys, that Bill Gates is saying, George Soros is saying, Klaus Schwab, all the people who want us dead, is what was being said in the report. But it didn't mention these names, those guys' names that I just mentioned. It just talked about how we were going to perish, if you will. But again, because I didn't read it, I'm not quite sure as to what they were talking about. I did get some pointers on certain articles and what they were saying and what was being said in the report, but that was about it. So that's the other thing too, guys. When you look online about this, and trust me, you're gonna find all kinds of rabbit holes with this. Certain people are saying that the organization doesn't exist. And there are people who says it does. So there's a back and forth with this. Again, whether they were real or not, a lot of the pointers that were brought to light from this report, we were actually seeing now. Now, of course, one of the things they also mentioned in there was climate change, but so does a lot of scientists. They seem to think that the climate change, or the earth changing, whatever you want to call it, is going to be part of our demise. Again, guys, whether that's real or not, it's something to still put in the back of our heads, because, guys, we are seeing the weather change all over the planet, amongst other fucking things that are going on. But nonetheless, again, it's in this report. They also mention World War III, and they also mention a pandemic. And they said that it's either one of the three of those things are going to wipe out, again, 50 to 80% of the population. So those three events that they mentioned, World War III, climate change, and another pandemic, wiping out, guys, 50 to 80%. It's almost as if this report said, well, these are three things that can happen to you. Let's see which card the elites pull out, or whoever's in charge pulls out, and that's what they're going to go with. Now, guys, going back to them being legitimate, WikiLeaks apparently states that they are. And in the WikiLeaks dump files, if you can sift through all of that information, supposedly you can find this organization's reports on other incidences and other, I guess, subjects that the United States government needed them to talk about. So if you can find the WikiLeaks dumps, I'm not sure which one it's in, because I know that there were multiple dumps. You can find, they said, the legitimacy of this group. Now, interestingly enough, guys, in this report, the Deagle Report, they talk about China being the economic superpower in 2025, and that in the report, there is no mention of Russia or China's depopulation. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Russia's population increases, China stays about the same. Interestingly enough, if we're watching what's going on with Russia and China and how they're making this brother pack for both countries, the more you start looking at the points of this report, you start saying to yourself, holy shit, this could be true. So apparently, guys, and this is why, again, looking at this report and listening to these other assholes talk about the demise of humanity, or a large part of humanity disappearing off this planet, is because the countries that are involved, the countries that have a bleak report, if you will, in this report, the Deagle report, they state that countries like Denmark, Germany, France, the United States itself, Australia, are companies that are in cahoots with the United States, if you will, and their allies, the UK too, that we're going to see a large number of people die off. Now, guys, according to this study, this is the population issues we're going to see with the following countries. The United Kingdom, as of right now, has 68 million people. They will be minus 15 million. This is all by 2025. United States has 334 million people. And if I'm not mistaken, we will be minus 15 to 20 million people in this country. Canada, who has 38 million, will be minus 26 million. Germany, who has 84 million, will see half their population disappear, or a little over half their population, sorry, minus 28 million. France has 65 million people currently. They will be minus 39 million. Australia, who has 26 million, will be minus 15 million. There is no mention of India, Africa, China, or Russia. Now, I know Africa has a bunch of countries in it. Again, no mention of those other countries, just the countries that seem to be our allies. Again, guys, with that, it seems to be that something, like I said before, cataclysmic is going to happen to these following countries. Again, we all know, and here's the interesting thing, guys. By 2025, I have this feeling that Russia is going to spark it off with the launch of their missiles. Their missiles are not going to be in operation by next year. They're going to pull it probably by the middle of the year, the end of 2023. And when I mean next year, sorry, I meant their missiles won't be operational by the end of this year like they've been promising. I think they're going to be operational by the middle of 2023 or the end of 2023. And then 2024 and 2025, we're going to see some horrendous shit. Now, obviously, guys, the people that don't make it, whatever happens, the die-off is going to be what kills most of the people, not the actual event. So whatever the event is going to kill off a lot of people, yes. But the die-off is where you get more people actually passing away. And those are the people who are unprepared or happen to be in a shitty location where wherever that event happens winds up killing them, or they wind up dying off from whatever it is. Whether that's radiation or a bad fucking storm or something. Nonetheless, guys, a lot of the things that other people are saying, again, Bill Gates, Soros, Klaus Schwab, Charles Nenner, who's not part of that elite, but he was talking about it. Everybody is speculating the same thing. And again, in this Deagle report, they're saying the same exact shit as well. So it's interesting, either these guys, Klaus Schwab, Soros, Bill Gates, read the Deagle report and they're being parrots and repeating the same shit, or they're all seeing the same thing in whatever fucking program they're using to calculate humanity's survival. So either way, guys, this is just something, again, to put in the back of your head, because after I started reading the points of this, the pieces started coming together. So, guys, I have to clarify something. They're saying that these things might happen, not that it will. And it's like a theory, all right? The other thing is they're not sure how it's going to happen, whether it's climate change or the next pandemic or World War III. They're not quite sure. I'm putting the pieces together with the next World War III because of what's being said aloud, especially from Russia, and what this report is saying, and how there's no population decrease in China or Russia. I find that very interesting. So this is me coming up with that conclusion. But in the report itself, there's really no explanation as to how this happens, other than the numbers they threw out. All right, guys, other than that, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.